Liz, keep showing me Kohberger. Wait, no, don't show me me. Show me Kohberger. Look at him. This guy. I mean, the jury's going to take one look at this and run as if they had seen a monster. I mean, that look in his eyes. You want to be alone in a room with this guy? Liz, can you give me something a little bit closer to his face so I can look at, okay, there you go. He looks almost normal right there. Kind of like almost a smile, approaching a smile. Okay, there you go. Yeah, I don't want to be in the same room with him unless I was trying him for 4 counts of murder.
Well, hello there. How is everyone? I hope you're all well. It's Terrific Tuesday, baby. It's Terrific Tuesday, and you're looking absolutely amazing today. Who isn't amazing? You just witnessed it. You just witnessed it firsthand. A few of you reached out to me after Nancy Grace done her video, and I was going to actually watch it. I was going to do a video where we watched it together and ripped it to pieces, but I couldn't put myself through it a second time. I just couldn't do it. But I just wanted to lay down my opinions, which some of you will agree with, some of you won't. I saw the comments, the multiple comments of people in. I don't understand why people put so much positivity her way when she is such an absolute fucking disgrace to humanity. And I had an argument with, well, it weren't so much an argument, it was someone who I covered the Mark Furman situation yesterday. If you haven't watched it, if you haven't watched it, go and watch it. It's 2 videos, 3 actually. I did it live, then I've done a sort of a short version of rundown, then I picked a piece out of it that I thought, everyone needs to pay attention to this specific piece, because that to me is a trial wrecker right there. So if you missed it, go and watch it. But someone reached out and they said, you're a hypocrite, you're a fucking hypocrite, Harsh, because what you do is exactly the same as what these people do, what you're accusing Mark Furman of doing here and this, and it's not at all. And what I do over here is I question everything. I don't see how, if there's an 8-hour time delay in calling for help in a mass murder, and you're seemingly saying that these people who was in this property were texting each other, and there seems to be some truth behind it, surely, unless we just want to pick out of certain articles what we want to trust and other bits that we don't want to trust. But they're awake, they're up, potentially texting one another, who knows, but also, we've got a witness and someone who's cut hair and stuff and coming out of their rooms and shouting out and shut the fuck up and all this sort of stuff, but then fails to call 911 for 8 hours. I'm going to question it because it's fucking weird. It's odd. If it was my own children in the same situation, I'd question them as well. Do you know what I mean? I'm not picking on people. I'd question anyone in the same position. And, we question the fraternities. Of course we question the fraternities. We question them because there was a fucking fight early on, confirmed by Cara, Xana's mum. We've seen photographs of the fraternity brothers holding the very weapon that's being pushed out as the weapon that committed the crime. So fight plus weapon equals, do you know what I mean? And that's why we question things. The walk and the conversation, what did you tell Adam? I told him everything. Oh, they're going to get you for this, or, do you know what I mean? You're going to question these things because... Why wouldn't you? Early days, really early, people questioned Jack Showalter and Jack DeCure. Why would you not? There was 10 calls to Jack DeCure. There was 10 fucking calls to him on the night that they would then, shortly after those calls, be murdered. And Jack Showalter, who, rightfully or wrongfully, he was around the entire thing. You're going to question everyone. I would imagine that, and I would hope that law enforcement questioned everyone. But were they not supposed to question everyone? I don't know. We talk about alibis. Who the fuck rarely had an alibi? Who had an alibi? Oh, I've said this multiple times. Oh, my alibi was I was sleeping around Johnny's. Johnny, was he sleeping around yours? Yes, he was sleeping around mine. Have you quite finished? Can you hear this dog? And do you know what I mean? We question everything because we're not just going to say, okay, we trust everything, because history has told us that we can't always trust everything. But anyway, yes, so what they were pushing in that article was something completely different. They were pushing the fact that there was potentially an FBI leak So that was either a genuine leak or it was not a leak and it was just fucking lies. I'd like to think that I don't lie. Please, if I've lied, point out down below and tell me something that I've physically lied about when talking about the Idaho 4 case. That would be interesting. But Nancy, disgrace, fuck me. As biased as they come. And if Bryan Kohberger is indeed innocent, and he does prove that he is, and I know it's not about proving that he's innocent, it's about them proving that he did the crime beyond a reasonable doubt. But if it is proven that he didn't do this crime, then there's going to be some heads a rolling, I'm promising you. And it will be articles like that Fox one yesterday, and it will be people like Nancy Grace. You know, I just don't get it. And we're talking about someone who's reporting on a crime who doesn't even seem to understand when the fucking timeline was. You know, anyone who's been following this case understands that this crime, as far as we're aware, it's been pushed that it happened after 4 a.m. in the morning. You know, sometime between sort of 4:12 and would be around 4:18 potentially, bearing in mind that the car was seen. Then you've got Xana being on her phone, and then you've got the car being seen driving away at pace at 4:20 a.m. So that's after the crime. But Nancy Grace, for some unbeknownst reason, she's still pushing a timeline that existed right at the beginning of the case, the Kathy Mabbitt situation. So I don't really understand how someone who seemingly got such little knowledge is just trying to get into a case where it seems that her only purpose is to spread absolute hatred and contempt towards someone who has not even been proven to have done the crime yet. And that's the important thing. You know what I mean? I push this all the time. The guy could be guilty. Of course he could be guilty, but he's not been proven to be guilty. The public have not been made privy to the fact that Bryan Kohberger has done it, 100% beyond a reasonable doubt. We've been given some information that is yet to go through the process and be proven, like the car situation. That's got to be proven it's him. They've got to... this alibi situation and the 400 witnesses that was again covered in this hit piece. I'm going to call it a hit piece because that's exactly what it was. But it would appear that there could potentially be an alibi. There could be up to 400 people who, unless you read into that wrong, are going to be called as part of the defence's case to prove that Bryan Kohberger didn't do the crime. Find that quite hard to believe, but even me, as someone who innocent till proven guilty, I don't see how that works. But yeah, I just don't get it. I don't get how someone with such a following and such a status in the news arena can get away with what is in essence just a hatred piece. A true hatred piece that just drums up, when you read the comments, just utter hatred and contempt towards an individual who is yet to be proven that he did the crime. What happens in the event that Bryan Kohberger is, like I say, he's proven to be innocent of the crime? Not just that they can't prove that he didn't do it, or did do it, sorry, that he's proven that he didn't. It is proven that he didn't do it. It's horrendous, and I just don't know how they get away with it. I genuinely don't. So in the last few days, we've had, and this is, you think how many we've had over the length of this case, but just in the last few days, we've had people who have come out and seemingly expressed the fact that there's an FBI leak in this case, leaking evidence. So that's a problem, or again, it's lies. And then you've got Nancy Grace, who is just spewing utter hatred when she's showing simultaneously that she doesn't even know the basics of the case she's talking about. So there is no purpose to her involvement in this other than to cause that hatred. And it's wrong. Do you support it? Let me know down below. And I'll catch you all in video 2 later.